Hey guys, just here with JHart Modelworks. It is time for an update on the Shelby Cobra. The engine is done. It is in the chassis. It looks great. I've done a little bit more tinkering with the interior. I haven't really started on the interior yet, but I'm playing with things. And since a couple of you guys were interested, we'll even do a brief update on the aquarium at the end. Let's go ahead and get the camera flipped around and take a look. Alright guys, so here we are starting with the engine. Now this is the kit engine with a few modifications. I showed you guys in the last update how I did the shifter linkage for the transmission. Instead of using the kit's intake and carburetor and the air cleaner, I went with a set of quad Webers. Now this is from Modelworks. Modelworks does a version of the 427 engine. One of his modification files is an intake manifold and the carburetors. This is also his distributor from that engine as well, because I can get the holes in there to fit my wire better than the tiny one that came with the kit. Now, the distributor is also from Modelworks. That came from his version of the 427 engine. The holes in here are, the distributor itself is slightly larger, but the holes are larger and it's easier for me to wire this up. The kit's distributor is absolutely tiny. There's no way I could get 9 wires in there. I use some of my own wire looms. These are 3D printed. You can get the files for these off of my Colts 3D page for those of you who do your own 3D printing. So there's some 4 holes and some 2 holes. Now also on Colts 3D, not me, somebody else, I found someone had done spark plug boots. So I 3D printed those, painted them up with some Tamiya rubber black, and those look fantastic. I took some ProTech braided line, made a long piece that would go all the way from back here, all the way up around the carbs and back, and left a little bit extra in here. I then came right about the middle and I split the braiding without cutting all the way through the wire, so I could pull that braiding out and wrap it around to make the fuel lines. They're not perfectly straight, but they're straight enough. I don't want to try and mess with it anymore and break some resin, because the resin is of course fragile. And we use some of the smaller ProTech braided line fittings to end that, so those look nice and clean. I 3D modeled my own breathers. There were some issues with the kit's breathers. After I stripped the chrome off of them, they had some sinks in them that they didn't look good once you painted them up. So it was easier for me to just 3D print up my own. And then I took a small piece of sheet metal and I just cut a small bracket for my alternator, because I am opposed to alternators just floating around in space. They should have a bracket, so it just kind of goes right through there. I used a very fine tip black marker to make the appearance of the opening for the adjustment slot there, and I've just glued it to the front of the water pump. The pulley hides it, so for the most part that's pretty nice. But yeah, that is my engine. I am not sure. I think there should be a drain plug on the front of this. I need to look at some more references. If so, I'm going to go ahead and add a ProTech bolt on here, and that will definitely look really good. I'm just not entirely certain, because these are usually a side oiler type thing where the oil goes off to a external tank, and I'm not entirely certain if this is supposed to be one of those or not. And if so, I'm not sure if they have drain plugs for the sump pan, because this would be a very shallow pan. I just need to find some more photos that clearly show what this pan should look like. Yeah, that is, for the most part, our engine. Now the fuel lines run all the way back here through the suspension and tuck up into the tank in the back, so that all will look nice and neat once it's done. When I go to mount this, I will need to go in and do a little bit of wiggling. Nothing's glued down, so I will have the ability to kind of wiggle this where I need it to go and get it to slot down in there, and then all should be well. Our radiator is done. Now, if you remember during my unboxing, I showed you that they have molded in these oil lines because there's an oil cooler down here. And it was just the front half. They were flat on the back. They were really small. I didn't really care for them. So I 3D printed up some 90-degree fittings and ran some ProTech braided line to these. So these look much nicer in my opinion. That is going to tuck in and sit kind of like that. So that wraps up the engine and the chassis stuff, and that is going to take us to the interior. So the interior does not have door cards. Originally, I thought that was just Monogram being lazy, but it turns out most of the original Cobras did not have door cards. They just had door frames with the sheet metal wrapped around them, but from the inside you could actually see through to the sheet metal. There's a hinge in the front and there's a pad that goes over it. I didn't 3D model that when I did my dash, so I'll just cut mine off of the kit dash and glue that in place. And then there is a latch at the back. It's just a box with a latch mechanism and a lever on the top, and you just click the lever and it opens the latch and the door opens. That's all there is on most of the original, actually all the originals as far as I can find. For what few shots I can find of actual original Cobras, just about all the reference material is replica cars. Before I realized that most of these cars didn't have door cards, I went ahead and I 3D modeled some door cards, just to kind of clean it up a little bit and snazz it. I figured I'll go ahead and I'll use them. After all, we are modifying the kit engine to go with the quad Webers. We're modifying the wheels. We're probably going to modify the seats. So I kind of felt like it's okay to go ahead and modify this. We're pretty much making a replica car. So there is an opening for the latch post. That the latch has a little circle on the back side of it, and it just sits in this nook. It just sits there. So I left a circle opening for that to fit into. I gave it a little bit of ribbing here just to give it some texture, and like I said, just snazz it up a little bit. There's also a small notch up here in the front, and that's just to clear the dashboard, because the dashboard sits right in front of there. It's simple, it's basic, but it gets the job done. Now I've also been playing with the seats. So these are the kit seats, which they're hollow in the back. They're hollow in the bottom. All in all, like, they kind of look the part, but I wasn't overly pleased with them. And you know me, I like to modify things anyhow. So I found these on Colts 3D. These are sold by P24. So they have more cushion to them, more shape to them. They've got the vertical ribbing, which is similar to the original kit seats. They also have this center section, and if you look in that section, there are the grommets that are very much a throwback to the GT40 seats they were just flat, but they had all those grommets in them. I thought those were really cool, so we'll paint these up and then use just some silver in there to highlight those grommets And I thought that would be a really cool look. So I kind of like that look. I think I'm going to go with it. Let me know what you guys think. All right, shaky can time. So as I promised in the intro, it's time for an update on the aquarium, because a couple of you guys, like Joe from the Model Building Corner, were really into the aquarium. So I figured I would give you guys an update. No, there are no fish in here. I kind of messed up. I didn't really mess up. I did exactly what I intended to do. I just didn't realize that some of my choices had some consequences I just wasn't prepared for. I like to keep planted aquariums with live plants. It's healthier for the fish. The plants consume some of the fish waste. They strip some of the ammonia and the nitrites out of the water. They consume CO2 and release oxygen, which helps to oxygenate the water. I don't typically run an air bubbler, so I like live plants. There's a couple of ways you can do the substrate here. The first one is to go with a completely inert substrate, something like gravel. Throw it in there, and you're constantly having to pour liquid fertilizers into the water and stick root tabs in the dirt underneath your plants, which, I mean, they're not super expensive, but it's extra chemicals and it's extra money. The other option is to go with something like an aqua soil, which is a fertilized dirt for the most part. Now, I went with pretty much the most expensive aqua soil out there. It is ADA, or Aqua Design Amano's Amazonia V2, which is this black stuff here. This is a Japanese clay-based soil. It has a ton of fertilizers and nutrients and minerals. What I did not know is that this will leach ammonia into the tank in massive amounts, like off the chart amounts. And it will do so for weeks. And ammonia is very toxic to your fish. I just want to make sure that I'm not, putting new fish into a hazardous environment. So you may notice that the big Amazon sword in the back looks a lot smaller, and it is. But you'll also see that there is at least 3 new growth leaves in the center here. So I've started cutting off some of these old wilted leaves, because the old leaves will function, but they're not nearly as efficient as the new ones are. So well, I needed those leaves to get the new growth to start. These older leaves are taking resources away that could be used for new growth. So as I get new leaves in here, I cut 1 or 2 of these off. I'll keep trimming this back until I have nothing but good growth leaves in here. The small Amazon sword in the back, I've started to trim it. It's got 2, maybe 3 leaves going on it, so it's starting that process. So those are looking really good. The Anubias nana, which is these plants that go on the wood and inside the rock, these are very slow growing plants. I still don't know if these are going to bounce back. I haven't really seen any new growth, so we're still crossing our fingers and hoping for the best. And then we've added some new plants in here. So we basically went off and grabbed some dwarf sage, which just these small little foreground plants, but I tucked it in right on the edge of the wood and the stone, just to break up that edge where the rock and the wood meets the substrate, to kind of give it just a softer edge. And then back here there was a Java fern Windelov. So it's a Java fern, but it's got these frilly little ends on the leaves. So I've got one tucked in there just right at the back. These are a rhizome plant, kind of like the Anubias. It's just got a big bulb at the bottom, and you don't want to plant it or it will rot and die. So I just kind of tucked it under the rock, so it's just kind of wedged between the rock and the substrate, but it's not buried, so it still gets the water flow. And then there's another one back in that corner behind that rock on this corner as well. So those are the new additions to the plant. All in all, the tank is looking really good. The ammonia is starting to come down the last I checked, but it's still pretty high. It went from about 10 parts per million down to maybe 4, and I need to get that closer to 0. If I can get around 2, I could probably put fish in here. I would just need to be dosing something like Prime to help neutralize the ammonia and make it safer for the fish. But I wouldn't put fish in anything more than 2 parts per million of ammonia. You're just asking to really stress the fish out, and it'll be unhealthy for them. All right, guys, that's going to be a wrap for this video. Next steps, I need to sand and polish the body. I put the Pro in procrastinate, and I don't really like to sand and polish. I need to break down and force myself to do it. Hopefully I can make myself sand and polish the body this weekend. I also want to get started on the interior. So those are my planned next steps. Thanks for watching and hanging out with me. I appreciate you watching the video and supporting the channel. And I will catch you guys on the next one.